Welcome to the seventh episode of the Master Session podcast. And we are continuing the tradition. Today I'm in a... yes. We're continuing the tradition, of course, bringing you the behind-the-scenes stories. And that's what the Master Session podcast is about. All of you are seeing the great videos, the amazing cars and girls and everything, the shiny stuff. But I want to bring the real stories behind the music so that you know that when you see your star on TV, when you hear about this songwriter, when you see this news, you should know that there are real people and real stories behind all of this that we are trying to build. And in the studio today, I'm honored and I feel so grateful that he has made time from his busy schedule to be here. He's going to introduce himself, my guest for today. So welcome. Introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yes.
My name is Buka Chimey, aka Mr. Beer After Beer aka Mr Ebiluma, abayaaye.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but my biological name is Solo David.
Yes.
I am a Musoga,
Mm.
and I love the fact that I carry my people with me.
You know, I've told. Yesterday I was telling. I think it was Nins. I was like, was it Nins or someone else? Yes, Summer. I told him that right now the Ugandan music industry is being run from people from the East. And I have taken the census and I'm like, this is really interesting. Great music is coming from the East. This is amazing stuff that's happening. You are very busy. But before we get into all the new tracks, every new project that you are, just give us a bit about the history. Where did it start from? Where were you born? And just take us back. Who is Buka when he's a young boy?
Who's the guy who became Buka?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, I grew up from a place called... I was born from a place called Nyenga. That's
okay.
around Buyukwe. My father was a law practitioner by profession.
Okay.
But a DJ before he followed his path.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
That's interesting.
Back in the days when they used to roll vinyls and cassette tapes. That was...
Do you know his DJ name?
DJ. No, I've actually never taken time to ask.
Yes.
But I know one of my sisters does know the name.
Okay.
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up from a family of... how many siblings are we?
you don't remember?
I just have to backtrack.
Yes,
start
yes.
counting. But I think it's 11 to 13.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a number. And I think I faced the side B of life.
Okay.
Most of my siblings had the fancy school lifestyle.
Okay.
The school fees on time, the pocket money on time. And then I completely lived the side B of life. But I'm thankful to God that I lived that kind of life.
Okay.
And also growing up, my father was a kind... I'm actually the opposite of my father.
Okay.
He's a silent chap.
Okay.
Very reserved.
But he was a DJ.
He was a DJ and he was a badass DJ.
Okay.
There's a story he told me one time. That,
yes.
Back then they had gramophones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those round, the big thing.
Speakers,
Yes.
So he told me that if you would go to play, if was hired to play somewhere and another person is playing in the same space, what he would do is would make neat sound
Okay.
in the space,
Yes.
and then get those gramophones, raise them so high, and then point into the opponent. Now sumulula disco. So people would end up coming on his side. Yeah. But I thank God for the way I was raised.
Okay.
Sometimes some things are a blessing in disguise.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
me, I thought my dad didn't love me. I thought my dad didn't want me to live like other kids, but yet he had the best interests for me.
Okay.
He realized that among all his children, I'm the one who's so passionate about the music.
Okay.
And
yes.
it didn't stop me from doing the music. He actually nurtured me.
Yes.
That at some point I worked for him as a DJ.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, you're jumping so many stories here. I just want us to go step by step. So, you're a young child. Of course, you're now being influenced by the music that is being played around the house. And when do you have that first spark, that first thing? Like maybe you're dancing at school, maybe that thing which is man, I really think I can do this music thing. I like it.
I think it all started from home.
Okay.
My love for music all started from home. Like I would go to my father's collection.
Okay.
And then make my mixtapes. Back then, because as exposed
Okay.
to this equipment at a very young age. I'm by the way born of 1993.
Okay.
So I got exposed at a very young age. So I would make my own mixtapes where you get this tape, this cassette, and then start recording track by track and make your own cassette.
Okay. Yes.
Make your own mixtape. So I used to do that with my father's equip.
Wow. Okay.
And also my dad used to like have friends over. He's the kind of guy who would leave the court, come back over the weekend. He just wants to chill and listen to music. He's a retired magistrate, but he still listens to music all the time.
Oh yeah.
So every time
the dream never dies. Yes.
Every time I would have like guests, friends over, I would like call me to like play music for them.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I kind of also saw at some point DJ'd the analog way. Where you like flip the tape with a pen and then play a song, and when the other one is almost ending, you like in Uganda I call it kutegula. When you're driving a manual car.
Yes.
So then that's what I would do, like have my car selection, be like, yeah, that's my son.
Yes,
that's my son.
Well, you actually I've been digging deep about the artists we talk about, and it's rare to find a person who has reached as far as you've gone and had maybe supportive parents. Like your dad actually supported your love for music. Would you say that?
Yes, he's the biggest influence of my love for music. And he raised me as a single father. Growing up, parents divorce.
Yeah.
Yes, it happened. And by the time I was getting into my mother's life, she passed away.
Oh, unfortunately.
But she really loved me so much that even when she was on her sick bed, she would like, jump off the sick bed, go under the bed looking for her son. So I know the fact that my mom really loved me.
Okay.
And then maybe my biggest regret and the last memory I have about my mom is when I visited her. She was discharged from hospital. I visited her, and then she offered to make for me a meal. And then I was like, but you're sick, you're weak, don't do this.
Okay.
Next time when you're feeling a little bit stronger. I didn't know that those were her last words to me, and I didn't know that that would have been my last meal with her. So it knocks me so hard sometimes. As a man, it breaks me. But I was raised by my father, and my father raised me as a disciplined gentleman.
Okay.
And he raised me with just a single phrase. Never misuse the freedom I give you, because if I ever take it away, you won't have it. So every time I wanted to mess up, it would resound in my head. If I take away the freedom, you'll never have it.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you moved to high school. Are you doing talent shows? When do you first show off your skills?
So I've remembered the story.
Yes.
In primary. So in primary, I would collect radios, break them, and then get speakers out of them.
Okay.
Put them in a jerry can or a box, and then make
you
my own
them.
hoofer.
Yes, yeah.
So I had a friend called Mills. It was quite a crazy one. We would carry the boxes to school.
Yes.
Then I was in primary 6, primary 5, primary
the
6.
jerry cans, you take them to school with the speakers in them. Yeah.
No, we would like get the jerry can,
yes,
put it in a Kasafi box,
okay,
and then carry it to school. So no one would ask you.
Yes.
When the teacher steps out, you tune your FM radio, and then boom, boom, sound.
That's so
and then we would like mess up our sets, mathematical sets, and like start playing the band thing.
Oh yes.
And there's a time we had bachita batyabi nebyaba doctor bateka mama to check the heartbeat.
Stethoscope. Yeah.
Man, I can't say it again, but you just said it. Yeah, so we would carry that. When you put it on the desk and put it in the ears, like it expands the sound.
Okay.
And the sounds become louder.
Okay.
So we would like play on the desk and make beats like that, and then I would rap, I would sing. We'd just have fun every time a teacher would step out. Okay. So I think that
so you were the stubborn kids in the back making the beats. And
unfortunately I wasn't the stubborn kid.
Oh, okay.
It was just the music.
Okay.
It was just the music and me.
Yes.
I was a very laid back, chilly guy.
Okay.
But I would skip school so much.
Okay. You said you're not stubborn.
Not because I've wanted to skip school, but because I've wanted to do something else.
And that's the primary. You're still in primary here, skipping school.
Yes, I'm still in primary. And also a bit about my life is I didn't grow up with my family so much.
Okay.
Being that my father, for him, it was about his children. You don't love his children, you have no business with him.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he ended up with my wrong stepmoms, who at some point didn't love us.
Yes.
And given that he was a person who was always transferred, would just come back over the weekend. So at some point, I stayed at home alone for longer months.
Yes.
And would just come back over the weekend. And at some point, I stayed with friends. As actually, I credit my growth so much to my friends. I tell people that I was raised by the community.
That's amazing.
Because people I've met along the way have nurtured me, and people I've met along the way have become family.
Okay.
So that bit of it gave me a window and the liberty to skip school.
Okay. Yes.
And also dictate when to go to school and when not to go to school. At some point, I say it was a blessing. At some point, I say I did a wrong thing.
Yes.
But to a greater extent,
it is a blessing.
It was a blessing.
Yes. I mean, then you got to experiment with life. And then you get to... Now, how do we go to the first studio session? When does that happen? Because now at school, people have seen you have the talent. At home, you're getting, the love from your dad. Like, oh, this is my son. That's my son doing the music. When do you first say, I want to try this studio thing. I want to get into it.
So before the studio thing, I remember my dad used to work from Masaka from Lugazi. And then he used to stay in Lugazi. So I was home alone without my siblings in Jinja. Home is in Jinja.
Okay.
So he would come over the weekend to like bring me upkeep, bring me new music. Back then we would just make audio CDs of 19 songs, no MP3-ish.
Yes.
Yeah. So he would bring for me new music every weekend, like different genres. And he would also bring for me a pile of empty CDs, those Sony CDs that would be in plastic covers.
Oh, yes. So,
as the big guy around the hood, having that empty CD and it's a rewritable.
Okay. I know this. There was CD-ROM. That one you can't.
You can't.
Like once something is on it,
nothing.
Then rewritable was the valuable one because you could always change.
And then it would have this neat cover casing.
Okay.
Plastic, neat, thin. Yes. He would do that because he knew I was chilling with a friend who had a computer.
Oh, okay. Nero.
Yes.
Yeah, the Nero.
Like, hey, he would like hook me up with new music.
Okay.
And then after that, in senior one, I get to like, start loving the music.
This friend of yours, you're in Jinja this time?
Yeah, we're in Jinja. Hey, this friend of mine, he's still there.
Okay.
But right now we're in Kampala, tuli mu Kibuga.
Hey, shout him out. Yo, man, this is your day one.
But let me take you backtrack a little bit. My mom was a lady who would make local brew, Malwa.
Okay.
Yeah. So back then, my dad had a Malwa joint. Exotic Malwa joint. Yeah. And then over the weekend,
my dad did a lot of things. He was a DJ. He was a lawyer. He has a joint for his friends. That's amazing.
Yeah, but he had this saying of, you leave court, the blazers, the courts, whatever happens in the court stays there. Come back to your ordinary life. That was his security.
Yes.
Because what they tell these people is you don't have to chill among people.
No, yes.
They might poison, the thing. For him, it was like, these are the people I should hang with.
Yes.
So that was his mode of life.
Okay.
So that Mara joint, we were near a barracks. Back in Jinja. So people would come around and then it was me playing the music for them.
Okay.
Tape still. You roll a song, you have to make them dance. You have to make them enjoy the morning vibe.
Okay.
So I would just wake up in the morning, go get my collection of tapes, go chill. And I knew exactly where song A is, where song B is.
Okay.
Even when I roll the tape, I would know, okay, now this is the vibe I want. I would like hit Lingala. Yes, non-stop, but I would know the specific song is here. And I would know like where the real Lingala vibe is. The Lingala mode is build up,
yes.
and then go to the climax. So I know these things.
Okay.
And I'm humbled that, I got to experience this
at
a very young age, but because my dad lived that life. So I got the equip, and I got to start with that equip.
Okay.
Yes. So I get to senior 1. I start miming at school, but it was a hassle. It was
Which school is this that you are in?
It was St. Nuama Gali in Jeru. Mose Radio went to the same school.
Okay.
At some point.
Did you ever see him at school?
No, I think by the time I went to the school, he was
left.
already Mose Radio.
Yes.
He was already Mose Radio.
Okay.
Yes, so then it was a hassle because there were the big cats in school. There were big cats in school. You know, there is Firebase, there is Gaga Mail, different crews and taking over.
Okay.
So we would be the guys who would like beg, and we had a guy who used to call himself Exhibit.
Exhibit, yeah.
This guy would like murder exhibit his songs from A to Z. Song A to Z. Guy would step on stage and be like, yo, so we would chill. And then this guy, a guy who's willing to give you like a platform, you can like support him on stage, singing Mudiro, Mudiro, Mudiro. I don't watch.
Yeah.
Of course, you know the only way to beat that was to hang with one crew.
Yes.
And to hang with one crew, you had to like buy them lunch. Buy them breakfast.
You pay the price. That is the price of, you know.
Yes. And then when I get to senior 2, so end of year, I choose school fees with a certain guy. It was like a 20 bob. This guy was a stubborn chap in school. You know, he didn't care about whatever. And his parents knew he was stubborn. So for them, it was about getting the best for
him, yes.
Yes, for him. So even if he messed up, it was okay with him. And then my dad, he was the kind of guy, which school do you want to go to? This is the school. Go, get admitted. Do you have the admission papers, forms? Yes, I have them. How much is the school fees? This is it. Requirements? This is it. Okay, go. For him, only thing he knew was the school, not where the school is.
Okay.
He never stepped in the school.
Okay.
But failed to
bring
the report.
Yes, that's going to be a problem.
The report card. The report card. Even if you failed, you need to bring the report card.
Yes.
So I chew a 20 bob on my school fees.
What did you spend it on?
Of course, Sumbusa, Samosa at school. You know, you want to live that exotic. You show the girls that.
Show the girls. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Are you going for lunch? Me, I'm not going for lunch.
Skip lunch and eat at the canteen. That's the hassle. Oh shit.
So and then end of year comes. We go to our streams to get our report cards, and they're like, if you haven't cleared to maybe 10,000, you're getting your report card. I'm like, yeah. So I failed to raise the 10k to like remain with a cadet of 10k, and then they don't give me the report card. Around that time, I start hiding from my father.
Okay.
He used to come over the weekend. I don't show up. No phone. Like, okay, what's happening? He tells people he leaves money somewhere. I knew he would leave money somewhere. So they would give me the money. Like, but your father is looking for you. I give them an excuse. I did that for like 2 weekends. The third weekend, unfortunately, that's the weekend my mom passed away.
Yes.
And while I was in the hood, flossing and moving around the hood, someone tells me, "Gwe, you're here and your mother's passed away." I was like, "What?" So I just did a U-turn, went back home, locked myself in the house. It was a house of with the kitchen, bathroom, everything, 15-roomed house.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I locked myself inside there. I actually missed the burial of my mom.
Oh my God, that's quite serious.
Yeah, like I mean, I didn't believe it had happened. When someone told me that, I just walked back home, locked myself in the house, so they didn't know how to trace, and they saw padlocks on the house, so they thought I wasn't there. And then I don't know how it happened. After the burial, the following day, they come and they just break into the house. They found me there, puzzled. So took a shower, got me something to eat, took me. I paid respect.
Okay.
And then after that, my dad is like, "Okay, now since this is done, where's the report card?" And I don't have it. And it's like, "You remember I told you if you ever misuse the freedom I give you, I take it away. So right now, I'm dictating." And then he was transferred to Masaka. So he calls up a friend. tells him, I have my stubborn son. And then the guy's like, don't worry. Just bring him. So they take me to Rakai. I stay with the guy. I think that guy is now he's currently this lady Titi's husband.
Okay.
The current husband. So I stay with the guy at his place. The place is far. I'm used to my happy life. You're there, you have to chill, you have to watch movies, it gets boring. So they find a school called St. John's Kaboko.
Okay.
In Masaka, between Rakai and Masaka. They take me to the school, and the school was headed by a headmistress.
Okay.
Who had the captain as a bodyguard. And the school is a church parish school. So I get to the school, the lady looks at me, is like, you know, I'd create my balance. She looks at me, is like, will you handle? She tells me, she gives me the uniform, tells me, go change right now. So I go change, come back with my balance. Like, pull it up to the above the waist. I put it there. It's like, if I ever find it below that point, we are going to have issues. Now the biggest problem I faced in this school was my father was the magistrate of Masaka. And then this school was within Masaka parish. So anything that happened, like, they had the connection of my dad. So I couldn't be sacked. They would just Chibox, canes, and then you serve any punishment, but not chasing you out of school. So I get to that school, that lady's like, don't worry.
And are you doing music at this school?
At this school? Now I'm getting to that point. So this gentleman, when they took me to Rakai, I was staying with another gentleman. The gentleman who took me to the school, trust me, I saw him that morning. I've never seen him again. I can't even identify him. He told my dad, Chief, don't worry, this guy, they'll handle him. So I get to that school, they enroll me, I get to the dormitory, I keep quiet. Now I find guys who rule the school, I look at them. Then I had learnt my American English. The Mwiri English, the Butiki English. So I get to this school, and they speak their own English. Like, there are Tanzanians there are some people from Kampala, but then they don't speak the Mwiri English. And I know the American English. So I start teaching homies American English, and now I become the king of the school.
That's a special skill.
So between, I see a very beautiful girl. You know, dating in school doesn't miss out. And now this girl was a girlfriend to the biggest break dancer in school. And the biggest chap in school. And now I'm the kingpin of the school.
Now you have taken over. English has given you the platform.
Of course it gave me, but I also had the swag. I
can see.
And also, I used to make mixtapes. So I would carry my mixtapes, sneak them in school, and then I would hook up chaps every Sunday before service. With real music. And I wouldn't run out of mixtapes. So I take over this guy's girlfriend. And next thing I take over his position as the entertainment prefect.
How do you take over someone's girlfriend just like that?
No, I won her heart.
So you are a lover boy, really.
I won her heart, but I mean, we loved ourselves for a long time. We still love ourselves.
Are you guys still together up to now?
Technically.
Damn, that's quite interesting.
Technically, I mean, life put us in different spaces. We didn't really split because we wanted to, but life put us into different spaces. But we celebrate each other. She has attended all my live shows. And also every Valentine's we celebrate each other. So sometimes we check on ourselves. And I put out a record with DJ Hats called Lisa. The lady is called Lisa, so you know it was still about her. It was a beautiful thing.
Shout out to DJ Hats.
Besides her beauty and everything, she had, you know, sometimes we look at the beauty and forget what's on the inside. Like she was everything. So we go back.
You're now the entertainment prefect.
I'm now the entertainment prefect.
And that's a big post, by the way. In school, when you're the entertainment prefect, first of all, you're in charge of maybe the TV, in charge of organizing the shows and everything. So
and now the other school didn't have the TV-ish. Catholic schools are tight. It was about singing.
Okay.
Choir.
Eh.
We had a radio.
Okay.
Like a simple PA for, assemblies and then church service if you're not going to church. But
Okay.
then the school was right near the church because it was a parish school.
Okay.
So entertainment was not at the peak at the other school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
because it was a Christian school, and then the other lady was tough. And then also the leadership of Christian schools, headmistresses and headmasters are chosen by the parish.
Yes.
So they have it's more like politics.
Yes.
So she had so many enemies, and any slight mistake, so they would cover us, box all the time. So I become the entertainment prefect, and then I start doing entertainment. Then I hook up with some homies, we make a crew.
Okay.
We were 3 guys, we start singing, we rap at school, and then at some point do comedy at school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was a point now I got to know a guy called P. Right now he stays in Germany. He relocated to Germany, but he has a studio called Studio Oasis.
Yes.
When I got to know that guy, he became a friend because of my vibe and ish.
And this studio was here in...
it was in Masaka.
It was Masaka.
Yes,
Okay.
but close to my father's working place.
Okay.
So I get hooked up with a guy, and then while in school, I tell this guy, you know what? I want to put out an AIDS project.
Okay.
And I want to have this. I've realized kids here have talent. Let's do a song and then, bring the tapes at school, the CDs at school, sell them, and then pay you, and then I also take my cut.
Yes.
So I get like 9 students. I sit them down. I was like, this is what we have to do. Let's lay it down. I remember that time, bali bamanja nusu bisatu school fees.
Nusu bisatu.
Yeah, 300 shillings. I don't even know how that came up. Yeah, so they tell me, you know what? We want the school fees. Fees. So I tell these kids, fees, let's go to studio.
Okay.
So we go to
smart.
studio, build up the track, sing. And then the rest, we are like, well, enough fees, don't pay the school fees. Because they need to chase you for school fees. You go to studio, we record.
Yes.
So we recorded the song. The song was done, mixed properly, mastered. But sound of back then.
Yeah.
Then I was in senior 4. So I told the producer, you know what, on V-Station Day, make for me 100 copies, just pack them properly, bring them at school. So the guy did the same thing. He was my homie. So I sold to students in a city with only one song. 3K students, 5K teachers. I made off a meal. I made off a meal, 100 copies. I sold them all.
My God. So you have been in the music business from high school?
Yeah, back then from my mother's womb.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, now like you're mastering the music.
The music.
How it
the
moves.
Music hustle, the music business.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're getting
but then it wasn't in my conscious that I was doing this.
So you're just hustling. You're just
and by the way, I went to the same school with Crystal Panda, and Crystal Panda features on that song.
On that AIDS song?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to find that song. Is there a way we can get it? That would be really interesting to hear how you guys sounded back then.
What's the title of the song? But I know a DJ who has most of my old music. Like he has my music.
I think you should. That would be nice to hear how that sounds. You should put it on one of your next projects.
I was thinking of doing a compilation of these songs, raw, no retouch, no remixing, no mastering, but raw. And I was thinking of calling it Buka's tapes.
Yeah, you should do that. Actually, fans usually like to know. It's like, and now we're forwarding a bit, but when you. Even in YouTube, it's like when you have that hit video, it goes back. Like people want to know, okay, I've seen this. This is amazing. I want to see the story from the beginning. I want to hear how he sounded on his first record. And that progression, I find it to be really interesting. So I think you should put out Buka's tapes. Yes.
I have a few of them. I'm thinking of doing that without retouching the sound or doing anything with the sound.
So
However, I might reproduce a few of them live.
That's amazing.
Because I perform with a band. So I might reproduce a few of them live.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
now you go to studio first time. coming to Kampala now?
Now we skipped a step. That wasn't the first time. So the first time, a friend of mine brings for me his song. It's like, man, I recorded a song. This is the song. So I cram his lyrics. I take the song to my father. This is my song. So my father gathers his friends. This is my son's song. And he gets lines. That's a line of Omusiramu alya saniya y'omuceere. It was like, he used to laugh over that line. He's like, when are you planning on doing another one? Like, that is innocent. Like, how much? Told him, nagaya asobola okundikodinga ku mitwalo 10 nga mutwalidde beat. I was like, hey, kwata. So
I like that he supported you.
I didn't know how to write a song. I don't know where that song. The producer didn't even give me the song. I don't know what happened to the song. So now we forward track.
A producer
kati tukoze oluyimba lwa siriimu tulufulumiza baluguze ku ssomero. So in senior 4, they sparked nine of us out from school. 1 week to
the exams?
Our UNEB exams. Reason was we delayed in the washrooms 10 minutes before preps. So we went 10 minutes after they had rang the bell.
Okay.
Because we were in the washrooms. Never to go back. Indefinite expulsion. So need to come out for briefing. Need to call ebibuzo.
Yeah.
But also before that in school, we had a tournament. Football tournament.
Yes.
So our class won money around Easter time. At around that time, we wanted to buy a goat. We topped up and wanted to buy a goat, but they were expensive.
Yeah. But how can they be expensive in the village now?
Easter time. So we tell our teacher, don't worry. No, we were 3 people, but we would influence all streams.
Okay.
Whatever we would say, they would buy, and we were prefects. So they were like, and by the campaigns, we would just say, Oyote Mumulonda. And they would not vote him. So we tell our teacher, don't worry. Since you're our agriculture teacher, you know these people. Let's buy a pig. Then those are the Muslims, we buy for them fish. So we influence the teacher, he buys a full pig. At night, we slaughter it from school.
So you know people.
And then one Muslim reports to the headmistress. So it was a Saturday night when we slaughtered it. Sunday we are in church. Girls woke up very early in the morning, sorted the rice, cut the cabbage, the tomatoes and ish. We were cooking from behind the kitchen. So we go to church, come back knowing these girls are going to cook lunch. We go in our class, we eat our meal. Mama.
The administrator.
Yeah. From church, the main gate, not entering school. Where are the senior 4s? How dare you violate the rights of all Muslims in the country?
In the country.
We're like, kawedemu. So, guys, like all senior 4s, these people, we are going to chase all the senior 4s out of school. To go, chiwede. Like, they slaughtered a pig.
They are the influencers.
We were prefects. Ne batugamba tugenda bagoba. Kati ng'omukazi captain yamukuma. Captain naga kati senior 4s kati orders za captain. Senior 4s this side. So the lady puts us in the main hall. They're like, tugenda bakuba chiboko. They first give us some. And then, no, they wanted to give us chiboks. Nagamba ane tuchireke. Tulino bagoba. So they put us in the main hall. And then they say, stand up if you led this. We refuse to stand up.
Solida.
Teri kutuwaayo. Teri mutuwaayo tukoze eki.
Yeah.
Mbadde temugenda kulya. The advantage that was there is they chased the teacher before interrogating us. And my dad is a magistrate, so I would go around all those things. So they give us notes, papers to write the names of those people who led. Never to wandika. And now one of the guys on my crew was dating the headmistress's daughter. So the headmistress gives the daughter to read those cheats. The following day, the daughter comes and tells us, Mwana, baba waddeyo. Because then you cannot identify who wrote, who did write. Yeah. So assembly, they tell us, if you know you led the buying of the pig, come in front. But if I mention your name, trouble, you're just going. Steadily we moved. 3 of us were prefects,
yes.
Amias of entertainment. We had the assistant head boy, and we had the guy of sports. And then 2 of them were the class monitresses of our stream. That was B. But then stream A had the wise guys, Balinga Batia. For them you just dictate. So we went in front. Of course they ashamed us in front of the assembly, but of course we were kings already.
Yeah.
You know when you do something in
of
school,
course, yeah.
Yeah, so after that we go into the headmistress's office.
Yes.
Before she said the word, I told them, headmistress, we didn't know these things. We were just told. I know now those battles of leadership, that's how we got saved. It's like now people are using, actually what saved us, then that just burnt Budo, the school.
Oh, okay.
That just burnt Budo. So these people had their internal conflicts.
Yeah, fights between all these other...
And now for her, she thought they were using leaders to break her. And now she had already sacked our class teacher.
Yes. Who bought the
But he was innocent. It was our idea. We gave him the money. For him, he knew the people who were selling those things cheaply. So we're like, headmistress, please forgive us. We didn't know. They also just called us and told us, this is happening. We talked about it all. And she was like, but people are using leaders to break me and you're accepting these things. What? Like, madam, we are sorry. And me, I knew her. If she gets pissed off, just say, I'm sorry. And she'll say, go. So she told us to write an apology to all Muslims and to everyone in school.
Okay.
Put it on the notes board. Sad bit of it is our cooks were also sacked because they gave us the saucepans. We used the saucepans.
Yes.
School saucepans. The school saucepans were thrown away.
You have to,
Never to sonyira, so we survived that. Then never to go back 1 week nga tukomawo kolachi bibuzo. 8 people. So because me I had a girlfriend then after my senior 4, of course I wanted to come back to the same school. So we call each other and we're like, let's go back. So senior 5 we go back.
Yes.
Now senior 5, still 1 week to end of year exams, they chase the same people.
Why now?
I don't know. This time around it wasn't our fault. They gave everyone so mine was that I was trying to tell kids to start up a strike, which wasn't right.
Okay.
So my father tells one of my friends, mother, that
so you have been in the influence circle ever since,
Not really. Circumstances have put me in the influence circles.
Yeah.
I also remember a time when they got me for coupling. It was Valentine. I bought for my chana. Those plastic flowers of supermarkets.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Which had a teddy bear, white teddy bear. I bought that one. I bought chocolate. I bought a card. And I also bought apples.
Yes. You're too romantic guy.
Sogas are romantic. It's obvious.
Okay. So
I buy the flowers. I buy all this. Give them to the girl.
Okay.
Never be quarter teacher on duty. And that teacher on duty had something for the girl.
A love triangle in school.
So they get me, and the other school, they get you in coupling. They call your parents. They're like, this is your son-in-law. This is your daughter-in-law. Take them. Expulsion. No explanation, no nothing. So then the guy comes, calls me, and I see the kabag, I see the girl there, and I'm like, I can't wait them. We were with the librarian. Guy naga, but forgive these people. Just discipline them and forgive them. Guy na lemerako.
Guy gara kugoba kubanga he wants something.
So they're like, you'll discuss that with the disciplinary committee. But then those cases would go direct to the headmistress. So they called her right away. It was a Sunday. They called her right away. So Monday, batanikira kunze. But before the Monday, her sister was my best friend.
Okay.
So when she went back to their reading room, the sister came on the other side where the boys were reading their preps room. Nambuza, tukoze tutia. She was like, Devi, they used to call me Devi in school. Tukoze tutia. Nemga, Lisa Mugambe. Kwata. I told the guy, it's me oyo mwana mukwana. Kana mugulidde ebirabo bino. Kulaba oba nakkiriza. I was just bribing her mind and heart. So I told the sister, tell Lisa to stick to what I said. Me mukwana bukwanyi na mugulidde ebirabo kulaba oba nakkiriza.
You're trying to absolve her
to get her out of
the issues.
Yes. Nebatuita mu meeting ya discipline. As a prefect, she was she was a class monitress in her class. Nebatuita mu meeting ya nenga teacher. First thing I said, you know, the mind control thing. I'm a leader. I shouldn't be doing these things. Please forgive me.
You take me the high road. You take the high road.
Yes. The guy saw it. I was like, if he felt my being sorry for what I had done. And I told him I won't do that again. And he asked me, who are you sending to deliver the message? So in my head, I had one girl who was a friend of hers, but then the girl wanted me. And then the girl was dating my friend. And then she was the headmistress.
So many love triangles in this story.
So if I had mentioned her name, she would just like blow it off. And I said, I had a friend who was also chased out of school called Tony. He was also a Kampala guy. I said, I used to send Tony. Then I was like, but Tony is not in school, so who's your current contact person? Like, after Tony was chased out of school, I tried to contact the sister to help me, and she told me, but I'm her sister, I can't do that. The guy's like, but now you're stupid. Why would you send the sister? But then the sister was also behind the staff room, listening to everything. So that in case they ask her,
she has the story.
Knew exactly what to answer. Or in case that started caning her sister, she would just walk in. So she's like, but now you're stupid. Why would you send the sister? I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I'm a leader. I shouldn't be doing this. So the guy is like, okay, what is that cheat? Of course, I had written her a letter. But my kind of writing a letter, I would get like a page, fold it twice, and then, you know, get that middle part, summaries. You know, those which is those papers that summaries on. So I would write from the beginning, like the dot of the line, to the extreme end. No space, no what. So you think it's a summary? It's a love letter.
It's a love letter,
yeah. So they get me. It's like, what is this? I told them, that's a song. I was like, what song? I've forgotten the title of the song that I gave him, but I remember the artist, Nicole Shukwazinga. Yes, he was like, who's that? I was like, she's called Nicole Shukwazinga. Like, where did you get the song from? The newspapers in the library. I'm like, okay, write an apology. So what I did is apologies, you write a big apology. Next time you make an offense, they refer to the apology. I went and gathered my English. I wrote one paragraph with all the English. The
Mwiri English.
No, this was now the Oxford English. One paragraph with all the English. Guy read it, filed it. But then that apology, you wouldn't pin me on anything. So now we leave that. We fast forward now, the music. We are done with the school.
Yes.
They chased me senior 5. Back then in senior 4, my dad told me, you know, I'm in the government. I'm a civil servant. You should look for a course in your line of interest. And we do that. But here in offices, lots of competitions, lots of bad
So he wanted you to do music?
They wanted me to choose a course of my own interest. And we pursue that. And I said, Gwewa Soma and Zero Soma. I went back for senior 5. So they chased me 1 week to end of year exams. And only option Jebatwa is you rebound or they don't accept you in school. So my dad is like, now I have to dictate.
The freedom has gone away again.
The freedom has gone away. Hey, last time back what I'm coupling, and when they got me the coupling ish, my report card, the comments were, your son has put so much effort in search for love relationships, but not books. It should stop. Now you know this car bottom space. Then they put note. Your son can perform well if he stops chasing our girls. You get. So when I go to my father's office, you know, you have to deliver the report card. I give him, he calls up a friend's like, but then saba mutabani wangu mfunireyo nga basatu ne room.
One guy's being distracted.
So maybe the friend asked Rachi. And the guy on the phone was like, Auntie Bangambye ke kalume ke somero. So he dictated.
Yes.
When he dictated, we had misunderstandings. We went separate ways, me and my dad.
Okay.
So he would like cruise past by me at Etwogen, and I would stay with our neighbors. We're not talking. I was mad at him. He was mad at me. So he buys a sound system.
Okay.
He sets up a club in Jinja, buys a sound system, brings his DJs from Masaka to play the music for the people.
Okay.
Free entrance. Every weekend it would be free entrance. When he's there, for him his love was to see people
happy
dancing, people telling him Muzei endongo ye kuba Muzei chino cho tukolede chaka. Would buy a crate of beer. You dance, you excite him, he gives you a beer. You dance, you excite him, he gives you something to eat. So these DJs play music and these people get bored.
Okay.
And then he gets pissed off. But for me, he was a person who would like counter angry moments with, wisdom. It's like, I'm the one who has brought these people. I cannot get mad at them. Let me just go and sleep. So I told him, Zay, then as a king in virtual, PC DJ Red.
Yes.
I was like, nenkusanga kubyuma byange nja kwesibira. So he gets mad, he goes to sleep. These DJs are like, mwana jango chikwate mufe chitulemye.
The DJs from Masaka.
But from Masaka, DJ Samurai ngaba panka kanka. Kanka DJ Samurai kunyono. So I have my music nakuba abayaaye disco.
What was your DJ name? Was DJ Samurai?
No, they brought the DJ Samurai from Masaka.
Yeah, but what was your DJ name back then?
Then Bali Bamita Leo Chimey.
Leo Chimey.
Yeah.
So you've had the Chimey name from, okay, that's really good.
From way back. So, ne akuba bagai disco. How kumachane bagamze wangu.
Yavi kuteko ebyuma.
Bamuga. Omwana wache yatukoze. So he called me Naga. Now, here are the keys. You're the overall manager of this club.
That's amazing.
Next weekend, he brought for me Magulu Kumi of, Byuma Bya Disco. It's like, that is all under your control. Only condition is if I'm coming back over the weekend, bikubiranze. No problem. Twakuba disco ngandi DJ ngakuba disco ninga nkola sente. So he would tell me the sente zendi ateziva mu disco. You get, so I had a lot of money. I had a lot of money at a very young age. All these things are happening to me at a very young age. And then I tell him, Dad, I want to buy a car.
I mean, the DJ, man, club manager, you have to have
Remember,
a
I dropped out of school in senior 5. So I'm in my senior 6 year. That's when all these things are happening. I'm not in school.
Okay.
So I tell him I want to buy a car. He's like, Yachi. And I knew now it's fire. I told him, njaga jiteka ku airport. Kolenga airport taxi. Like, iba nimbo kuva ku Monday paka Friday. Komye ku weekend impumulemu now. So like, do you know how many people abagala tender nga tebagifuna? It was like, okay, where is your bank card? I gave it to him. What's your PIN? He withdrew the number. He was like, okay, now I want you to like go to Kampala. Where do you want to study from? Told him Kampala. Go to Kampala, find an institution, look for a course.
Yes. And that's how you are coming to Kampala now.
That's how I was coming to Kampala. And while I was playing for my dad as a DJ, there's a time he came back. I had cornrows like for Bow Wow and Omarion back then. Yeah. So I'd unplated. And I was looking sharp and I was like, name tabani. Tuyagala anfune baka mwana balungi. My daughters-in-law balungi. You're looking sharp. He paid for my first dreadlocks.
Okay. Man, your dad is really cool. Like, your dad is actually really, really cool.
So then he told me, Kati, envirizo. And I had a stepmom then. Dad, njaga kola dread na. Eba zisera. He asked me how much. I told him 50K. Next thing I see my stepmom giving me the 50K. Your dad has told me to tell you to go and work on your hair.
Yes.
So he paid for my first dreadlocks in life. So now Then before moving to Kampala,
Yes.
the project of youth and hip hop through Bayimba comes to Jinja.
Oh, okay.
Then that's the beginning of my professional journey.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so then I get connected. I get part of the first workshops, youth and hip hop.
And I think it was youth and hip hop was by. Is it Babaluku? Because he usually works.
Now I also have a long story with Babaluku.
Okay.
Because me and my crew, we are the only guys who have a video with Babaluku, a music video with Babaluku in Uganda.
Okay, that's really cool.
With Ugandans.
And this crew is from youth and hip hop?
Yes, and I formed the first hip hop band in Uganda, Bantu Clan.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this. This is really interesting.
So now we get to youth and hip hop, start working with Sylvester. And then Bayimba.
Yes.
So they put me on the first ever main stage. That's Bayimba Culture Festival.
Yes.
The Ginger Festival. And then they get us to Kampala to perform on the international festival at the National Theatre. So then I start, working under the mentorship of Sylvester, Kaz Kasozi.
Okay.
So then I get to work with musicians who have like broad musical minds.
Okay.
Remember, I've been listening to a wide range of genres growing up, from the blues, classics, the rock, the lingala, rumba, kizomba, zouk.
Yes.
Yes. So now I get to people who really started. Kaz Kasozi was signed to a serious record label in the UK. He plays almost all the instruments. He's a music teacher. He does sound scores for movies.
Yes.
Sylvester and Abrams, they come from way back. Rise of Luga Flow.
Yes.
And then Bayimba, it being, the culture, institute here, holding a festival. So I get to start working with a band.
Okay.
And then get to start performing live. And in between, I become the regional coordinator, Ginger regional coordinator of youth and hip hop in Ginger.
I like how you're taking on all these things and you're moving in. You're taking the influence, like taking charge as you go along. That's really interesting.
I think I thank God that I was raised the way I was raised.
Okay.
Because I didn't take advantage of me being on the streets or ever sleeping on the streets when my father has the money. And also, I didn't waste myself along the way. I am still a humble chap, and I've tested the test of life. I've slept in the kiosks of Chikumi, but I knew there's a house at home in Ginger. I was like, I'm not going back to Ginger. I have to start a life of my own.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I used to like go to the bars with my DJ friends, and for them they thought I had a friend who had a kiosk, typing those things for the Makerere chaps, and then he had a PlayStation. So my DJ friends we would leave clubs, party from Monday to Monday, or Kuba tugende, and then when it gets boring, we would like come to Chikumi, play the PlayStation.
Yes.
And then they did know that was my yard where I was sleeping. So for them they thought, this is just my workplace. You get. So I've tested life.
Yes.
But it has humbled me the most. Testing the side B of life has humbled me the most.
Okay.
So we go to the Bayimba thing. So we move Bayimba, and then my dad wants me to.
Did you do any recording with the youth and hip hop project?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Okay.
A couple of them. Hey man, youth and hip hop is my foundation.
Okay.
As a professional musician.
That's interesting.
Like my bottom foundation.
I look at those projects like which they have done, and I don't know if Sylvester and Abrams know the impact they have had on the music industry, because I feel like now we are saying Nyege Nyege, we're looking at Nyege Nyege and all these festivals, but they were doing this even way before it had the eyes of MTN and all these other things. They were trying to put the Ugandan sound on an international level. And I think, if we need to give credit, Sylvester and Abrams and the whole Bayimba, team and what they have done should be credited for the impact they have had. Yeah.
And they started a wave. I'll tell you that Rachel Ray is also from the same project.
Film project, okay.
Youth and hip hop.
Same. Was she in the same crew with you?
Not the same crew. Youth and hip hop has taken phases. Like we were the pioneers, the first guys, and then they would pick a few people, take them to a boot camp, record an album, choose the leader to like, shoot the video, they would bring in mentors. So for us, we started it. They went to the volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. Don't know Rachel Obagwamu, volume Chisim. But she comes from youth and hip hop. That's what birthed her.
Okay, so when does Buka Chimey start?
I start from youth and hip hop.
Yes.
Then and that's the time I also met with Babaluku.
Okay.
Through youth and hip hop. So youth and hip hop exposed me to the professionals.
Yes.
And when I became a regional coordinator, being humble, being a hardworking young man.
Yes.
They trusted me with that position, so they put me first. Like, because me, I'm a creative thinker. Besides the music, I'm a youth mentor, I'm a creative thinker.
Yes.
So we talk about something and in a snap of a finger, I'm thinking beyond where you're talking.
Yes.
What you're doing right now, we thought about doing it.
Yes.
We did it with the wrong people. They exploited us.
That's true. Yes, yes.
You get. But I think it's to an advantage that someone has to get exploited because you choose to learn.
You learn. Yeah. There's never failure. There's only learning.
So fast forward, I start working with Sylvester and Abrams, and then there is this battle of who started Luga Flow, who started hip hop in Uganda. So I'm working with Sylvester and Abrams. I'm working with Babaluku. You get. Sylvester tells me, Buka, I have no problem with whoever person you work with, as long as you still keep the respect for other people.
Yes.
And then Babaluku is like, you guys need to start coming. And you guys need to start working with me. So now I'm in between there. And then these people are my foundation. So now we start the phase of the boot camp.
Yes.
They get rappers from different regions. Big Ben was representing Bale, and a guy called Laumas was representing Ginger and some
yes.
guy. There's a guy called General Murphy from Kabale. There's a guy from the Central. So we meet in Ginger for 2 weeks. And then we get to like work with Hans. We get to work with Benon, Shadrach of Platinum Entertainment. So they go to these mentors.
I mean, you are now meeting the big people in the industry.
Yes.
Now this time you have no tracks that you have put out as Buka Chimey.
As Buka Chimey, no.
No. Okay.
No track put out as Buka Chimey. So, but then me being a creative thinker, they love me so much in the project. Yes, because I would think. So then I get an idea of starting the Bantu clan.
Okay.
Starting the Bantu clan. But before the Bantu clan, I had started a movement in my hood called Talent for Life.
Yes.
It still lives on, but, with a different name and working with different people. But I am blessed to be one of the founders of that.
Yes.
They're still carrying on the hip-hop movement in Ginger. And now we are moving from Chimey as an artist, but also Chimey as a hip-hop scholar. Yes. Not just a rapper. And also Chimey as a youth mentor.
Yes.
So I get an idea of starting up Bantu Clan. So I handpick. Bantu Clan, the original Bantu Clan had Big Ben, Umasaba. It had General Murphy, that guy from Kabale. He's sick. He's sick. It had a guy who was working with the late Mulekwa called LJD Al Caliber. Okay. And it also had me. So we had the Central, we had the Far East, we had the East, and we had the Western. Okay. And then
you went around the country, to sort of put it together.
And then we start also working with Babaluku and then Youth and Hip Hop. Babaluku, Youth and Hip Hop. So we get a badass logo, badass logo.
I've seen the Bantu Clan logo. It's really like, is it the spear with the?
It's the microphone.
Okay.
But then it's kind of like it feels like it's a head with earrings. Okay. Then it's a microphone flipped upside down.
Okay.
I'll show it to you.
Yes.
So then we start up Bantu Clan, and then we start moving as Bantu Clan, and now. Bayimba is proud of us because we're a product of youth and hip hop.
Yes.
Remember when funders, they need to see success
exactly.
stories. So we were the success story of youth and hip hop. You get. And then we start up the first hip hop band in Uganda. That's Bantu Clan.
Yes.
So when we start up the first hip hop band in Uganda, Sylvester is proud of us. Man, Sylvester is my father. Yes. And then Babaluku is also proud of us. And now there is who started what. And now Babaluku is like, you guys come work with us. You know, I can make you a millionaire. You make me billionaire. And we are torn in between. So then Big Ben is like in between working with Bantu Clan and also another crew in Bale, and was spending so much time in Bale. So Big Ben went off. And then the guy from the Central was in between working with Bantu Clan and also being with Mulekwa. So stepped off.
Yes.
And then we stayed, me and General Murphy. And then we have a legendary guy called Mukalazi.
Yes.
Mukalazi David, a producer, who believed in us. So he started producing our songs. And then I get to meet a girl from Zimbabwe called Kendi, who had a beautiful voice. So she brought the Shona vibe in our hip-hop. So then we had a dope branding. We were badass.
Yes.
Like people, we would talk. We had a presence on social media. But then people didn't know who we were. So Baimba books us to perform on the international festival, the hip-hop stage.
Yes.
And then that was the first time Maddox was performing.
I think I saw this because the Bantu Clan really stood out on this Baimba festival. Yeah.
So it was the first time Maddox was performing in Uganda after all these scandals. So we perform on the hip-hop stage. The main stage, there is Henry Tegan, and then Maddox is coming on next.
Yes.
But then we pulled off a crowd better than Henry Tegan had, with good sound, huge stage. But people specifically had come to find out who are these guys. The Ryongas were there, the hip hop heads were there, and then Mr. DJ, man, that's the guy who first played my
Shout out
music.
to Mr. DJ, man. Oh my God. He
On
puts
the mainstream
everyone
media.
on. Yes.
This guy played our music without knowing who we were. And he kept to, every time he played the songs, he was like, I need to get these guys in studio. I need to get these guys in studio.
He has the famous rewind thing he does.
Rewind! So, and I would listen to the show and engage on Twitter.
Yes.
You know, I would engage on Twitter. So, man, shouts out
man,
to
you're
Mr.
an SNMS fan. Like,
hey, huge one, day one.
Yo, from day one.
Day
oh my
one,
God. I've
man.
taken some time without listening to SNMS.
No, we get busy, but home is home. Home is home, man. Mr. DJ.
Have you been on SNMS yet?
Yes, I was on SNMS a couple of times.
Okay, that's amazing.
I've not been on SNMS of lately, but I need to hijack Mr. DJ.
No, you need to. He needs to see this new version and do it.
So, I mean, Bantu Clan moves that way, and then, so we have a misunderstanding with Baimba. One time, it was close to New Year, Babaluku sends me a message, and it's like, you know what? You're making peanut, I can make you a millionaire. Come, I make you a millionaire. And I was like, I had a video library in Chisasi, my grandma's place. I was like, why am I slanging CDs? This is my job. I'm the business. I have to turn this into a job. So I child my business, gave it away, and then went to Babaluku's space in Namasuba, the Bavubuka dynasty.
Yes.
I started staying there. And then I set up an online radio called Obomo Media Lab.
Okay.
And then I also started up the Obomo Media TV, where I would document. I can tell your story in 50 seconds.
Okay, that's
tell
interesting.
me a lot of stuff. I can edit it, cut out, and get the strong, points. And then I'm sorry to say this, we split so bad with Babaluku. I respect him as a mentor because I learned a lot from him. I respect him as a legendary figure in the hip-hop industry. Whatever misunderstandings, there were not misunderstandings. Personally, I wasn't satisfied with how he was doing things. Because, we plugged. We were doing things, bro. For the culture, for the movement, for the youths. It was supposed to benefit the youths. And man, I watched kids feed on guavas. I watched us do brilliant ideas but don't get anything on the table.
Yes.
And then it got to a point where we got a project of Ras Kasozi, a fashion project, Seed Show, with the US Embassy. And I was hired to do the digital marketing. And then I know if someone is funding you, if it's Masters and Buka Chimey. So when you're doing the branding, you have to credit Masters in partnership with Buka Chimey, not Masters in partnership with Buka Chimey and Julio. Because Julio is just, throwing, or because you stay in his space and he has, mentored you at some point. And then it's a must, you should credit him.
Yes.
And then people along the way also came who wanted to support us. And then only way you would be supported was through going through Bavubuka. Because you're there, so they tell you anything, omusanze wano, olina kuyita mu kimu organization. And the organization was at some point virtual. Because, you have the organization, but we, the people who are plugging into the organization, are not exposed to the values of the organization. The core values of the organizations, the values of the organization.
Yes.
And we keep doing stuff, and then we don't see what's coming out, but then someone is promising to make you a millionaire. So we get to work on that project, and now time for the paycheck. He says, since you met Buka Chimey from Bavubuka, you should give me his money. It's me to pay him, and then I need to take a percentage off for the foundation, for the organization. I was like, what the hell? I worked for this. And I did know coming here, I needed a percentage to give. I wasn't told that in the first place.
Yes.
You get? So I was like, you know what? Now I need to move because I wasn't growing. I love graduating. I wasn't moving. And then I get, someone calls me, a friend calls me, tells me, that they're organizing awards at the Ministry of Gender through the youth department. You should take your CD. I was like, I didn't even have transport from Namasuba to, Ministry of Gender. So I didn't send in. And then he tells me, now they have the WhatsApp line. He gave me the number, so I professionally wrote my name. I wrote my age, where I stay, put the song, a little description of the song, and sent it in. Lucky enough, the song was in Lusoga, but I was selected. And I was the second runner-up. So I'm one of the privileged musicians who has been awarded by his country for his music.
Okay.
And then that award came with 1 million shillings. And then Babaluku learns about the award. And then the mother calls me and tells me, hey, where's the cut for the organization? And I'm like, I don't know these things. So that's how we stepped away. And I stepped away, not in good terms. When I went away, Babaluku kept writing to me on Facebook. And I told him, when can we meet and talk face to face? And he's like, you should make that because it's you. And I told him, I respect you as a mentor, elder, as a mentor. I don't want to say anything that I'll regret saying. But because these messages kept coming in, I wrote an email.
Yes.
To Babaluku. Then I copied people that I met through Bavubuka that who would still want to support me. And I detailed the email and I said, if I've said anything, if I've lied in this email, please respond to this thread, which didn't happen. Yes, so I sent in that email.
Yes.
And then it is Babaluku's wife who responded to the email. Lucky enough, there is a lady called Christine Michelle who had copied in the email. I think they had a thing with Babaluku. So she came out she got the boldness to also say out her truth. And then there are people who are also waiting for someone to say something.
And they say something.
So then everything around me became psychological torture. I got into a space of depression. And I remember I lied to Babaluku while I was living in space. Because then I had gotten an award. It came with money. And they were telling me about the percentage I was supposed to give. And then Babaluku was telling me, when you get such connections, bring them in our space so that you also feed the organization that you're in. But the actual fact was to bring these people in the space so that they start plugging into Bavubuka, not your work, which wasn't a bad thing.
Yes.
Because Bavubuka supports a lot of youths.
Yes.
And maybe it went south with me, but there might be people who have benefited out of it. And maybe my email helped change how Bavubuka approaches this whole thing.
Yes.
Yes, because recently I'm happy I see Babaluku working with the Navios. Then it was a different story. Then we would sit on a round table and I'd tell you that guy, you need to blast him. You get?
Yes.
So
after Bavubuka,
when I left, I got my bag with my few jeans. My few t-shirts. Then I'd started an online radio called Obumo Media Lab. It was in the same room I was sleeping in, Obumo Media TV. So I left the equipment there. I told Babaluku I'm going for a meeting, a workshop with the Ministry of Gender for a week, but I'll come back. And And he's like, when you go, make sure those contacts, you bring them back to us, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay. So I left Bavubuka. That's how I left Bavubuka. When I left Bavubuka, I had a friend who had an internet cafe in Kulambiro. So I told him, man, I have nowhere to stay. The guy was like, there's a coach here. But then I was taller than the coach. You get?
Yes.
So I was like, I'm not going back home. I have to start a life of my own.
Okay.
Yeah. So I slept on that couch. I remember people would like come to the internet cafe, go up to 10 or 11 or 11 p.m. And then you have to lock and sleep inside there.
Yes.
Remember, you're at this guy's mercy to like give you lunch, breakfast. If it doesn't work, you have to push it. And now that internet cafe didn't have bathrooms. It had rentals on the behind, but then those rentals, they were self-contained. So I would shower once in a week. There was a washing bay next to the internet cafe, but then it was a very bad washing bay. So like maybe after a week I would go at night when those guys have parked their cars, in between the cars, take a shower, and then come back. But then I fell on my knees and asked God for a shift in life. I say to God that I have to rent my own space by this time. So then Raska Sozi gives me my payment of 300K. So I talk to this guy, I have 300K. Can I please put movies in the space so that I also start earning?
Yes.
The guy is called Isaac, who gave me the internet cafe where I was sleeping. It's called Kaziba Isaac. It's still a bad day. So I started buying movies in town.
Yes.
So there is also Raska Sozi's brother called Ben. He bought my iPhone that some friend had given me. And then I topped up on the business. Then I started slanging movies. Pola. Remember, I had a library, left it, gave it to a friend, and then went to Babaluku to start, to become a millionaire. And then I lost everything. So I had to start life. I couldn't go to my judge's place. I had to like start life on my own. It was a few steps from Kulambiro to Chisasi. But I had to live that life.
Yes.
So I start slanging CDs, I start selling movies. And then I have a friend called Helena Okring, who used to work with the UONet, Uganda Youth Network. She loved me so much. She's like a sister, a mentor. Yeah. So she used to get for me like deals. They give her projects to do like UN projects or, documenting. She would like be like, Buka, come do this, you take my cut, make sure this is what I want, this is the product I want, make sure you get photographers, you get videographers, my payment is your payment. Then I started surviving like that.
Okay.
Like that with people. And then Helena and a certain lady called Hadija Mukasa supported me to like, heal.
Okay.
Because it was too much pain
psychologically. Yeah. Because you give up everything to go support this organization.
And besides giving up everything, remember I wasn't in good books with Youth and Hip Hop, my foundation. Then this thing of, the hip hop scene has the purist.
Yes.
The purist who do boom bap, and then
Nisco.
It has the scholars, and then it has the mainstream.
Okay. Yes.
I call that bullshit. No offense, I call that bullshit. I've been in all spaces. I've been a hip hop scholar.
Okay.
I know what happens there. I've been an underground rapper. I know what happens there. I am now a mainstream artist. Very happy.
Yes.
Kids are running broke. Let me tell you, agent. The agent.
Yes, the agent.
They used to move from Kawempe, foot from Kawempe, come to Namasuba. Kube freestyles almost the entire day, and then foot back to. When he switched to mainstream, they said, Yafuse Mudandari. But he's now surviving and taking care of a number of people and employing a lot of people. So let's forward. People, my friends, don't want to talk to me anymore because I left Babaluku in a bitter way. Media guys want me to comment on that. People are condemning me for, responding to Babaluku the way I responded with an email or exposing him. they said since he's an elder, you
should respect.
But they did know. Before that, there's a thread on Facebook of I can't respond to you like this. Please, I'll say something I'll regret. When can we sit and talk? You get?
Yes.
Then the email was my savior. So Helena Okiring and Hadija Mukasa supported me into the healing process. Of, you know, every time I would get messages from Babaluku, they told me we will support you with lawyers to defend you. They told me anytime you want to talk, call me up for a cup of coffee. So anytime I wanted to like just talk or have random conversations, they were available. Anytime I faced any kind of threat, you know, they were willing to plug in. So now I heal. I take some time out of music.
Okay.
I'm slanging CDs, sleeping on internet cafe. So I start calling up producers that we used to work with, or we know that they're in hip-hops, and I'm like,
you feel like now you want to get back into the music.
And remember, I have the Bantu clan, which I am the founder, and they're waiting for me. They're like, you guys, we are here. What should we do? So I call up a producer who I won't mention the name. And I tell him, you know what? I have a crew. Of course, you know what we can do. We are good live performers. Please, can I come? You record for us an album. Then once we sell it, you tell all the sales. Guy was like, no. And I tell him, okay, can I download beats so that we pay you for voicing? Guy was like, unless you give me the entire amount for the 12 tracks.
But before we continue, I need to make this very clear, is that, and this is why we started this platform. I think the biggest problem we're having in this industry is shady managers and really not forward-thinking producers. Because a great artist like you, visionary, you're looking ahead, but just having some, you know, personal challenges, which we know that the music can solve. Music solves a lot of things, financially, emotionally, and all these kind of things. But the producer stands in your way because maybe he's being maybe a bit greedy and not seeing the I really want to encourage, if you're a producer, if you're a manager, if you're doing anything other than not being an artist, please have an understanding heart. This music industry is made of people, and this is why we're doing this, so that people can know that they're actually real people. When someone reaches out to you, and you are actually, it's shocking that you were willing to give away all the sales just to have the music out there. Yes,
and also one thing why I came for this podcast is when you sent me that link and I forwarded and kept on skipping. It's the first time I'm telling my raw story. The first time ever I'm telling my raw story. It's getting emotional in between.
Yes.
But, I mean, maybe it will inspire someone out there. Maybe it will make sense. So when that happened, I had no option but just take a chill pill. And then Mukalazi David is like my music godfather. He was here in the times of the Steve Jeans when they were producers. He produced quite a number of songs. He also co-produced a couple of hit songs back then. So Mukalazi was the in-house producer of Baimba Records.
Yes.
And then Baimba Records had partnered with a media company. Is it called a media company? An advertising company. Yeah. So this guy it was a legit place on what's that street? A street that connects to Kamocha.
Kanjocha.
Yes, Kanjocha. Was around that place. Very executive space. You can't just walk in there. You have to walk in there with an appointment. The receptionist has to first make a call, and they have to like have a logo of who's entered or accessed the space. So Mukalazi David would sneak us in.
That's powerful.
You know, he calls you, muje. Na abakolerayo ka beat yao na akabawa. And then I was like, okay. Nitukoleyo buyimba kamu bubiri busatu. And then he also left Baimba Records, so he wanted to start up something.
Yes.
Kati kweli million je nawangula. I gave 600,000 to Mukalazi. Buy a computer. So that they clone it with iOS to tutandike ka studio. But of course that was too little for a studio.
Yes.
But then Mukalazi has been there for me all through, and I credit him so much. I have so much respect for him. Because when he got the equipment, for the studio, he still invited me first.
Yes.
Lunguja. So we would like board to Lunguja, and then coasters from Lunguja, you have to sit and wait until it gets filled up. So if it gets filled up after 3 hours, that's when you're moving. Even when Baimba Records had just started, it was in Kansanga. He told us first. Then we recorded a track called Evo. Very powerful. Actually, I was talking to Big Ben last week. I listened to it and I was like, Big Ben, we need to shoot this video. We need to do a reunion and shoot it in its rawness.
Okay.
I was like, I'm in. Let's do this. Where do we start from? So we did that Evo song from Kansanga.
Yes.
So every time Mukalazi got a studio opportunity, he would call me first. So now we leave that Baimba sneaking. It becomes hard. It's now impossible. It got to a time where Mukalazi got to pitch an ad. He called me up, gave me a 50K. I was like, man, getting a 50K was hard. It was really hard. So now in between, Mr. DJ is playing our music. I have all the time to be on SNMS to tweet and what. Now things are slowing down. The Bantu clan people are looking at me. I remember also in between, Babaluku wanted us to like become hip hop entrepreneurs, like hip hop and food. Babaluku, he's a very brilliant guy.
Yeah,
I learned a lot of things from him. I really learned, besides what happened, my confidence with interviews, how I handle interviews, I learned that from Babaluku.
That's true.
He didn't personally stand in front of me and told me do this or this, but cameras were rolling all the time. So you had to speak the right words.
That's true.
You had to speak the right content. The depth of content was, something that was regarded so much. So I credit him for that. And then me personally, if I don't love something, I don't plug into that.
Okay.
So he supported Bantu Clan, technically supported Bantu Clan with 500,000 to start up a matoke business, buying matoke from Bara and selling from
Kampala,
Chibuye. But then that business, my friend from Kabale needed it more than I did. So he was the one running the business. Me, it wasn't my business. I didn't care about it, but I needed to support him because Babaluku wanted Bantu Clan to do this. And then during that time, Babaluku opens up a page, which is still on Facebook, called Bantu Clan, the Tribe. And, it has a description of an organization. But, remember, we are a band. And then there's also an organization. So I cautioned Babaluku about the page, and I politely asked him to take it down. And he's like, but I created the page when you guys know. So I can't take it down. So I was like, okay, I chow that. And then now we have this thing tied on us of viewers supported with the 500,000 to start a business. Yet we all clearly knew it was my friend called General Murphy who was running that business. Even Babaluku knew. Even when that guy, the business got messed up and someone cheated the money, he was, following the cases at Chibuye police. And Babaluku knew about everything. So we forward, and then after some time I quit music for some time, but then I still keep talking. Then it's now me and the girl, the Zimbabwean girl came. And for she's waiting for a move. You're not on stage.
You're not recording. You're not recording any tracks.
And you're talented. So I would beat up myself all the time.
That's true.
Like in my heart, in my mind. So one day, Mukalazi calls me. He calls me up and is like, hey, I want to take you somewhere. And I'm like, hey, you want to take me somewhere? Like, I don't give excuses. Like, I told you I'm coming.
Yes. I mean, you left in an interview at 3 a.m. last night. And you were here.
I kept my word, and I still also told you that I'm running late. And I was here because I also ran late. I was here by the 10 minutes I told you. But I had to wait for a friend. This guy who was lost somewhere.
Yes.
You get. So I tell him, but I look for my car transport. Then I was selling CDs. So I'd get like some money to keep me going. Run here for this meeting, run there. So I meet up with Mukalazi. He takes me to Makindye. That's around 2016, late 2016. And he tells me this is our new home. And then I enter studio, And, it was a live setup of drums, guitars, and then I look at the crash ride of the drums, and it's written on Bantu. And I'm like, okay, this is written on Bantu, what is this? And he tells me this is called Bantu Productions. Remember, Bantu Productions has existed for 8 years. And with Bantu Clan has also existed. And then we meet. To date, it doesn't make sense to me. To date, Bantu Productions is my home. But it still doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is Bantu Productions, this is Bantu Clan, we've all existed. And after all the tears, after all the hassle, after all the denial, after all the social media messages of bullying me and all those things, I landed into this space. And guess what? The owner of the studio is a guy who lives in the United States. We've not met face to face.
Yes.
And he's the guy, the idea bearer of Kasiwukira.
Okay.
He was a guy who went and pitched an idea to a loaded guy, and the guy gave him money to go to China and buy equipment. And this is the guy who made Steve Jean. This is the guy who made Misa Semakula. This is the guy who made the Ragadis. This is the guy who produced Doleyo Omwana. This is the guy who produced the Kadongo Cam Records we hear. This is the guy who produced Bebe Kulza Wete.
Who is this?
It's called Timothy Chizito. It's called Tim Chizito.
Man.
He's one of the founding members of these guys who do stage plays at La Bonita.
That's life more to Ebonies.
Yeah, the Ebonies. He was a lead guitarist in the Ebonies, one of the founding members of the Ebonies. And I'm like, okay, now this is not making any sense to me. This is a big guy, and right now he takes me on as his son. Just 2 days ago, he sent me a message that I'm going to share with you. I even posted it on my socials. But before we get there, so I start working with Bantu as an artist.
Yes.
But you have to travel from
Kulambiro
to Makindye, and you have to facilitate yourself. And then along the way, they identify that I'm a good social media marketeer. So the company hires me.
Okay, that's good.
As their social media guy. And then they give me, they're like, we shall pay you 300,000. So I'm like, oh, this is okay. But then I have to leave Kulambiro and be at office by 8. So I would wake up at 5 to beat the traffic. The traffic. And then Entebbe Road traffic. So I would wake up at 5 and have to be there
by 8.
And I would have to leave that place still back to Kulambiro. And then we move. So now the musician bit, we start working with Bantu Clan, and then we are still doing the underground hip-hop. We are switching it to a little bit Afrobeat. And the guy is telling me, man, you're not going to make anything. You're not going to make anything. The producer is called Rasto on the beats. He told me, you guys are doing this music. He wasn't interested in producing that music. Where are you going to sing it? All those things. And me, I thought, purists, it's hard to channel them in a different direction. But at some point, I followed my heart. So we started doing a little bit of Afrobeat. Then I wrote to Maro, a friend. I told a friend of mine that I want to work with Maro. So she told me, we are going for the Rolex Festival, talk to him. Lucky enough, me, when I want to work with someone, and also growing spiritually and understanding God, it's like things that play out in my life are things that were destined to play out in my life. Back then in 2013, as in Ginger, and I listened to Maro's record, and I was like, who's this Musoga singing Lusoga beautifully? I would want to work with him someday. So I start following Maro. I start engaging with his posts, his tweets. So by the time this girl talked to Maro knew who I was. I told him, I'll give him his number, let him bring some of his music. We have to listen and see what we can work on. We scheduled for an appointment. He listened to my music, played for me some of his, and then we set up an appointment. He told me, I'll be at your studio. Then now I have a studio that I call home.
Yes.
Bantu Productions. By 11. And by exactly 11, he called me for further directions. So we did the song called Dance With Me, which was a mainstream song. Remember, I stepped out of the hip-hop spaces, stepped away from all the hip-hop heads, hip-hop practitioners, hip-hop scholars. I made peace with Sylvester. I made peace with everyone I hurt along the way.
Yes.
So it was up to them to forgive me. It was up to them to wash that away. But I stepped away from all the hip hop spaces and needed to like a rebirth.
Yes.
So then we do Dance With Me, and then they start criticizing. Yes. Then this guy Tekino comes up with a pana vibe. So we do 2 songs in Afrobeat. Then now I'm tactical with my marketing skills and the branding. Remember, I'm a person who really focuses so much on the branding.
Yes.
And remember, I'm engaging with international people. There's something I skipped. I worked on a project that right now has 7 versions. A song called African Ileo.
Okay. Which
was meant to be shared by any DJ producer or musician who can give it their own translation, of An Action Now Africa, basing on their communities. So it has different versions.
Yes.
7 versions right now. It's supposed to be and anyone who wants to jump on it, I have the stem. The stems I give them, they do their own, thing.
Yes.
So that African Ileo, and I did it with professionals. It also features a band called Sarabi Band from Kenya, which was revolutionary and very big in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah. And also I've been blessed to work with some big heads from Rwanda, from US, but still through Bayimba.
Yes.
That's how we used to meet during Doa Doa, it's a creative arts market.
Yes.
So we used to meet with these people, network. There are always studios. You catch a vibe, go to studio. Yeah.
It's so, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's so strange. Like anyone who sees what you're doing now, I can't make the connection that you have this rich history in hip hop and everything. It is quite interesting.
Trust me, one of the people that can speak for the hip hop community or for the hip hop culture of our generation, I am among those people. Because when it comes to building movements, I did that.
Yes.
And I'm still doing that. I started up a movement that Babaluku still celebrates, back to the source. And it was about reconnecting with the indigenous people on the source. And it was supposed to happen on the source of the River Nile. I started that. It was hijacked. It still happens. I'm not even credited.
Okay.
You get. I started up. I revamped the hip hop movement in Ginger. And I'm happy that my boys still work with Babaluku. The culture is alive. I'm not credited, but my boys give me the respect. I've studied hip hop. I've been given, the hip hop declaration of peace, which are more like the commandments that govern the hip hop scholars.
Okay.
I was given that by Babaluku, by a movement in the US, Words, Beats and Life, through Babaluku to be given to us, and through my movement. You get. I know a little bit of what's happening in the hip hop just because I moved out of those spaces. And it's not all about being credited. But now the fact is that we have platforms like this that give us spaces of free expression.
That's true.
Where we can tell our stories, not to dig into the past or not to attack someone or make them feel bad in any way, but just to share our stories for the sake of archiving the history.
Number one, and also inspiring,
Of inspiring, and also for the sake of us healing. Because some of us are still hurting on the inside.
That's true.
Some of us have not had these spaces to freely express ourselves.
Yes.
And, maybe say out everything. And maybe I want to get to the year of 40 years and look back to my story because I might forget. Anything can happen.
That's true.
So this is a golden moment.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. So you're transitioning from,
from the boom bap, the underground.
And you're getting all these flags for attacking you, that Katatan Sukube Chidandali, what? Of course, the pain, is there. It's like this reminds me of this interview of Elon Musk I watched where, he's trying to make cheap rockets to go to space and all that stuff. And Neil Armstrong, all these people who inspired the full generation of young scientists to go into space, the first man to walk on the moon, his peers tell him, as a young boy, he saw them go and he was inspired, that's what I want to do. But as he's now trying to make it easier for everyone, they tell him that you are cheapening it. You are destroying it. And he had this 60 Minutes interview and he says, actually you could see him tear up in his eyes. It's like, I feel pain that the people I looked up to, who should be supporting me as I'm trying to advance these things are the ones who are sort of, looking down on me at this.
You just reminded me of a scenario where I was at Baimba Festival. And so I was with the Sylvesters, the Abrams, Jura MC. We were just chilling, And then Babaluku walks in. So when all this happened, we had never met. So we meet at a festival. And then he muscles me like this. Remember, it's Babaluku and Buka. There's a huge difference.
That's true.
And he flexes with me. The wife is like, Babaluku, don't do this, don't do this. It's like, why did you abuse my mom? Why did you abuse my mom? So people around you will think you abused
his
the mom. Lucky enough, the people who were around us were copied in the email. Most of them knew them, knew what happened. And they were part of the hip-hop community. I mean, you don't do something in the hip-hop underground scene and it's not known. So other people who did know about that really thought I abused the mom. And I felt embarrassed.
Yeah. It's quite a shock.
You're at a festival, main stage grounds. And I was like, whoa.
So let's get into the music.
Yeah.
You're doing a bit of Afropop. You're now starting to work with some mainstream artists.
So when I worked with Maro, we shot the video. The owner, Mr. Timothy Chizito, funded the video, fully funded the video from outfit. I call him a cartel. You can call him right now, and he will tell you that this show is happening in Uganda, this meeting is happening in Uganda. This CEO, I actually use one of his iCloud I use his iCloud in one of my phones because of the apps region and those things. I can't access Spotify and what because of the region. But trust me, I have phone numbers of literally almost everyone in the business, in the entertainment. I just scroll. It's like a cartel.
Okay.
So he funded the video, and we did the video. Then also we started producing a few songs, and then also all spaces come with their challenges. So now Bantu Productions, the producers were supposed to do for me music for free, and then they were also supposed to create music for clients. So it was kind of on merit. When am I free? When do I have the time? When do I have the vibe to work for you? Yeah, that also happened. But I thank God I understood God in my own way. Like me, I'm a very spiritual person. Anything that knocks me, I go on my knees and pray.
That's good.
And I recently developed a habit of fasting every Wednesday just to talk to God. And also, I think all creatives should really understand and grow spiritually and know that sometimes you have all the answers written. Sometimes your path is already designed. Sometimes something is there to just delay your success. And you need a divine intervention to understand and interpret these things. Yeah, so we get into that space, we start working on the music, but still, then this gentleman calls me. The Misach, he told me a story of Misach Semakula. Everyone chased him, gwe tomanyi kuyimba tosobola kuyimba. He told him, gwe jangu oja kuyimba. So it would make him like do vocal drills like from morning up to evening. And then he is the Misach Semakula we know right now. Who they once told Toja kuyimba tomanyi kuyimba. And he calls Mr. Timothy Chizito Papa. So this guy calls me. He's like, the girl I was singing with, now we were left 2 people in Bantu clan. She was living in Jinja. So sometimes you have an interview, she's not there. Sometimes you have a performance, she's not there. And me, I'm a hustler. I don't love using that because my God tells me you're not a hustler. But it's just a layman's language for people to understand.
Yeah.
I'm
people
a go-getter.
Work hard. Yes.
I'm a go-getter. So I would like go for these interviews, talk to people. When you get luck, you get a chance of a performance. She's not available. She's not there. And then this guy tells me, but you look stupid on stage. You shared the clip on Facebook and I saw my son looking stupid on stage. It's like, that girl, she can get married anytime. Or you might get to a point where you want to go for a performance and someone is offering more than the promoter is paying. What will you do? And remember, I am a rapper. She's a vocalist, so she dominates the song.
Yes.
And I have to stay on stage, swing, doing a lot of nothing, and it's slow vibe. To wait for my part to come towards the end and start singing. So like, you look stupid. You need to start learning how to sing. So this guy would wake me up every day at 6 to go run, do vocal drills every day for almost 3 months. Like, would call me every morning. So some mornings I would wake up, clear my voice, wait for his call. He calls. I'm like, I'm already working out. And then go back in bed when he gets off the phone. Yeah, but I mean, this gentleman was a blessing. Because, you know, now Mukalazi introduces me to Bantu, and then Mukalazi leaves Bantu, and then I stay in Bantu. You get, and then this gentleman takes me on as his own son.
Yes. Because
of, remember, my mind. I'm a creative thinker, and I've been exploited before, and I've worked with, you know, youths. I've been in creative spaces. I've worked with, you know, people who run creative organizations.
Yes.
So my mind was up there, and every time we interacted, like, he would get brilliant ideas. Remember, he has never seen me. I'll tell you the fact that we run Bantu Productions, but all the three of us who work there, we've never met with a gentleman face to face. But he trusted us with his multi-million establishment. It has an audio studio, it has a video studio, it has a space for live band. It has a live band studio. We also do live recordings. But this gentleman has never seen us face to face. We've done countable video calls. But he knows. There's a time my father got sick, and he called me, was like, hey, how is my brother? I told him, no, he's faring up. Like, I want to send him some money so that, you know, he gets some meat to eat. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so he tells me, can I send it to his number? And I'm like, where did you get his phone number from? It's like, he's my brother. Like, okay, send it to his phone. So now this gentleman starts grooming me into a solo artist.
Okay.
Starts making me work out. He tells me, okay, now give me a song, I'll make you a star. I go hustle for a song, get it. Tells me, I give him, I'm like, I've given you a song. It's like, now you've given me one song, you want me to make you a star. Give me another one, I'll make you a star. I hustle. But also at Bantu, I get people who tell me, who are supposed to help me, support me, who tell me that you can never become someone. Now that you've broken ties with the girl you sing with, you're a rapper, your music has been good because of
the girl.
So you cannot be anything. Now I walk to my current producer who doesn't work at Bantu. Most people ask me, why do you have a studio and you work with a different producer? It's choice. And so the vibe I need. I mean, I can't get the vibe at Bantu, and I freely use that studio because the other producer comes over, does my work, and gets the other side. So I walk into this guy's space. They've told me you can't mount to anything. So I walk into this guy. I remember it was a Tuesday, and then I'd started drinking Bond 7 to just kill the stress. You know, things are not happening. You're seeing the machines there, but nothing is happening. So then I was getting back to a space that I was in at Babaluku's. And I was like, I've been there before. I can't get there before. This time I needed to save myself. So I walked to this guy's studio, Beats House. Very early in the morning, I talked to the guy named Brian. But then someone called it a kayimba. And the guy is like, tewali buzibu jangu encha tukube. So I go the following day, guy makes for me a beat. I'm like, chaka bingenda kujjanka recording. Tewali buzibu. So I listen to the beat, and Maro is in my head. So I call up Maro. I'm like, man, you know no limba newa fitinzeko idea libweti nebweti. So Maro listens to only 3 seconds of the beat and is like, tuchikole. So we did it. The song is called Love Ye Chalo. And then after that song, I tell the guy, Salongo, wali nkole de akaimba akole. Tewali buzibu jangu tukakube. So we did another song called Twala. Right now I don't know how many songs we have with the same guy, and I know it's hard for a producer to like work on a song before if the other guy doesn't approve it. I mean, not because other producers are not professional, they are professional. It's because of my mind is stuck to him, and he got me from a space where I was like, ono bwangoba bivuddeko. And right now we pray with that guy, work on music with that guy, crack jokes with that guy. So that's how my mainstream journey started getting, you know, hype. So I get to work with Brand Beats. He gives me that mainstream sound. He gives my music a keen ear. Now his clients start saying, "Negwe music wa buku omuteka muchi." Nga sounding a different kuwabala. But then they forgot that I come from a musical background.
Yes.
Ngende wa producer nga mugamba lero tukube ekivibe bwe kiti. You get? So me personally gwe baga nti rap atoina kyosobola kubeera ogenda kugwa. Most of my fellow rappers ne bangoba. I have a song in Kizomba that is executed well. To bolwulira and listen to a Kizomba song.
It is
the same. Discipline, everything, the musical language, the same. Because if I want to do a Kizomba song, I'm going to listen to over 50 songs of Kizomba and know the tonation, how to breathe, the percussions, the discipline of the instrumentation, the culture of the music. You get? I have a Kizomba song. I have a song that I failed to give a genre because then Aziz had done Bax Raga. And I told this guy, "Njaga tukoleyo kadongo kamunga alimu raga." And that is the song Mr Easy picked up with Empower.
Okay.
Oh, I had even forgotten that beat. As one of the Ugandans, I was actually the first Ugandans they selected
for Empower
Africa.
Okay, as we finalize,
Yeah.
let's give us a fun story of how Ebiluma Abayaaye comes about, and then we can close the interview.
Yeah, before Ebiluma Abayaaye, we did beer after beer.
Yes.
I know I have only hit songs because they are hit songs. And when that right timing comes, I am already on the right timing.
Okay.
That right timing, you'll get to know the fact that I have hit songs. You want dancehall, I'll give you dancehall. You want zouk, I'll give you zouk. You want kizomba, I'll give you kizomba. You want reggae, I'll give you reggae. I perform with a band.
Okay.
Yes, I have badass guys. And everywhere we go, we must. So we recently did Blankets and Wine. And I think we had the best reviews on Twitter and on Facebook. The best engagement. Nejo boy twamukuba kavu.
By the way, Ugandan artists have been taking, these Nigerian guys come here and...
But you know me, I understood one fact. I do a lot of research. Every Tuesday I download new music. Waba Zungu, waba Nigeria, waba Cameroon, Togo, Uganda. And I listen. You're a rising artist. People are not really going to give you their ears. They want your vibe.
Yes.
Nange nemba wa vibe. You get? Kati nze nteka ku stage yo, I'll give you hard knock music or dance song. If you listen to my catalog, like first thing, and then the art I got is call and response. That's my art of writing.
Amazing.
I sing, you respond. I sing, you respond. So maliriza chorus esooka tuge okudda mu yokubiri ng'oyimba nange.
Yes.
You get? So it's simple. The typical byambeera. So it came up. Now we move to Ebiluma Abayaaye. Of course, beer after beer happened. Party after party, big trill, large upon yourself. Most people were pushing. The media guys here push up scandals, what Mukolama Ulire. But I have much respect for Big Trill. We didn't get in the news. Some people tried to push it, but it didn't really get anywhere. Yes, and I also wrote to Big Trill because we did that song for 40 minutes.
Yes.
Chat Rider 40 minutes. Even the verses in that song are verses from my old song.
Okay.
And then I sent to my guy who was doing my underground promotion. Now Leader Man, he released the song. So he got a dance video that was given to Big Trill as a dance challenge. That these people, Wembley Moore, Chamuka and Chamula, thought that if by doing this, Big Trill would call them to feature in the video. And then they were broken by the fact that Big Trill shared it as a challenge. So they're like, Buka jikozese. So we put it on the song. My promoter puts it on the song, releases a 30 seconds clip on Instagram, and next thing, my born again, my spiritual godmother calls me like, abalokole baliteka oluyimba lwoko status. Next thing I know, the song has blown away. Then I wrote to Big Trill and I told him, bro, I respect you, I look up to you, I didn't know this is going to happen, but my intentions were not to hurt or play with or infringe with your works.
I mean, he also got that's music inspires music. He also got an inspiration from somewhere. It goes along, and I'm glad he let that happen, and it's amazing.
They did put a copyright claim on the dance video, which I respected. Yeah, but then we did the song. We went back to studio and recreated the song again, because when we recreated it, we recreated the exact beat. But then we went back to studio and twisted it a little bit, and then put it up on the actual video, which people didn't really get, because even people right now, yesterday I was on Bouquet Day, and DJ Shiro still had the dance video, so that stuck to them. Then we moved forward. I did a couple of songs in between, and then now I'm off the wave of the purist, so now we do Biruma Abayaaye. Right now I'm picking, that's without a doubt.
Yes,
I'm picking, that's without a doubt. So I do Biruma Abayaaye. I credit Zex Inch Kumi Bilanjilanje and Chosen Blood for popularizing that slang. So when they made it popular, I was like, I need to do a song. So the guy who produced the song is called Cookie Magic Hands, who's also my guitarist on the band.
Yes.
So he's like, he wakes up, he sleeps in studio, wakes up in the morning, like, I have a beat for you, come and listen. I listen to the beat and I'm like, this is a hit. Give me one day. Next thing I know, Biruma Abayaaye is on it. And I'm like, the art I used in writing Biruma Abayaaye was nursery rhymes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Vimbie lockdown, Biruma Abayaaye. Vinobye Biruma Abayaaye, just plain for anyone to understand. And in my neighborhood, kids who are just learning how to speak, kids just see me and they start, Biruma Abayaaye. I'll show you the videos. Sometimes they see me, they come around me, they're like, Twakulabye ku TV. They're like, and then a certain mother also tells me, one day they were sleeping and then her son starts, Buka Buka. But in his sleep.
Yes.
So we do the song and then release the song, and then it picks momentum. And then after 5 days, Crystal Panda releases Bino. But before releasing it, he put up an alert on his Instagram. And then a certain friend of mine tells me, go check Crystal Panda Bioluyimba Lwaffe. So I go on his Instagram and I check. Guy, I'm releasing Bino Biruma Abayaaye. So then after that, he releases it as Bino, and then he releases the video as Bino Biruma Abayaaye. But Crystal Panda is my homie. Of course, I mean, we scratched each other's backs. We said hateful words to each other, but he's my brother regardless. Oli Muganda wange. At some point I mentored him, back in school with the AIDS project we did, and also being the entertainment prefect.
The connection.
Yes, so Oli Muganda wange, and by the way, we are going to meet someday to collect a reunion. I want to make it happen.
Okay.
So Chonache Chiri, I want to call up Crystal Panda, and then we make ends meet, because there's no generation here, one love. And now the remix comes up, so I get to have a distribution deal with Empower Africa, and then they work with Vidia on behalf of Empower, and then Black Market comes in Uganda. So I can't walk to Vidia's office as my distributors, and when I write to them, they delay replies. Sometimes they don't reply.
Yes.
So Black Market is here. I'm like, okay, let me work with Black Market, because in case of any question, I can walk to their office.
Yes. And
then Angela is also on Black Market.
Yeah.
And I'm an artist who's very picky with who I work with. So when I realized Angela was there, I knew no one has exploited Angela's voice, like her vocal range. Yeah. So I told Angela's manager, Ocean, who we are also in talks to become my manager, because most people see what they see, but they don't know that I'm an independent artist. Okay. They don't know that I don't have any sorts of management. I have people who support me, and also they don't know that my business is music. It's music. I don't write CVs. I'm not looking for a job. I am the job. Yes. So then Ocean, and Ocean's like, Angela, you need to jump on this song. So I called up my producer, Brand Beats, who mixed and mastered the song. And I told him what's up. Then I called up Mose Writer, who has written a few of my unreleased songs, like 2 or 3, but he's still writing more. So Mose Writer wrote Angela's verse. Okay. And then he also listened to Angela's music before he wrote, so gave her exactly what she needed. And then we did the remix. Next thing we know, we shoot the video. We delayed on the release of the video because of what was happening in Angela's life at that moment. And, you know, the Andre thing, the Pastor Iga thing. But we finally released it. It's starting to play on Trace. And it's getting good momentum. What else can I say, man? Music, and now the purists are coming back in my inbox and on my posts saying, wow, yali wa kabi nga kuba hip hop bichi. There's one that Mukalazi David blasted, like how yeyagala ne Angela yagala omukazi omukadde. You know, they are now back. Ne time je nalimu nga ndaga nga nnonya ekiddako, they were not there. So me, my last message would be like, if you're creative and you believe in yourself, keep going. If you believe you can turn your skill into a business or a paying job, just keep doing it and never allow anybody to tell you that you can't do it. It's just the mindset. You let them get into your head, they get into your future. And also prioritize yourself. All right, so I want to thank the people who have been so instrumental in my career. I might not point out everyone, but first and foremost, Mr. Timothy Chizito, who still pushes me so hard and is willing to sacrifice all to see me going. I want to thank Mukalazi David, who really saw me, believed in me, Baimba Culture Foundation. I want to thank Helena Okering, Adija Mukasa. I might not point out all names. Mr. DJ, that's the first urban radio guy. That's the first guy who played my music on any on the urban radio station. So many people have come along the way. So I'll point out names. And then I want to pay so much respect to my father, who has really been there for me.
Yes.
They used to tell him, Chief Racho Mano, take a maybe, and tell them, this is my son. If I don't let him do what he loves doing, I'm going to lose him because I just bag and abikole. So I have to let him do the things in my know. So my father has been so instrumental. My team, the Bukadom family, these guys stand by my side. They stick by my side. We cry, we smile. My producers, mostly Brand Beats, this guy has been there for me because when I walked in his space, I was giving up on the music. I stuck with me. Cut right now, I have a bunch of producers. Funny thing, tinabaga no kunkolera bampa ku invitation. Because nine banja lyabwe nti olimba lwa bwe lugenda nabo bafuna ba clients. So and also I want to thank you for inviting me, because it's the first time I'm sharing my story to the world, like my story.
No, thank you so much for coming on. And Wagambe, you had an interview or an engagement until 3 a.m.
We had 3 interviews last night.
Yes.
On 3 media houses, different locations, so we were just running around Kampala. So
what would you at 3 a.m. and you are here? You could be resting or you could be having other engagements, but you have sacrificed your time to come here, and I think it shows your commitment and your it is not just simple hit making or what. No, this is deep. This goes so deep. So we want to also thank you for coming on. And as the new projects are coming out, and new projects that you're working on, that you are putting out, you can let us know.
Yes, currently I want to thank all the people supporting Ugandan music. That's so important, not only just Buka Chimey. I have new music coming out. I actually have a lot of music that I don't know. I'm beaten by the timing. When should I release this or that?
Ziwe muzonna.
Sisobola ziwamu zonna. Nali ndowozeza ku kya album oba EP. Nine ndaba nti kuba releasinze EPs ne album mu Uganda tebalina promotional strategy nnungi. Okubanga bazifuna mu nti zifa bufi. Nengamba for now kankole singles until I study the art of marketing an EP. Kuba bali bazita nolabanga zigoyinze viral toppinga charts ku iTunes ziri playlists ezenjawulo okitegeera. Yes, kati our body of art tulirabireeyo. But also my band together, I did an online show that I had people watched in tujja kola n'endala.
Yes.
Fe tugenda kuba bukubi disco.
Just like the old days. I really loved your story. So thank you so much for everyone who's watching. Keep subscribing, keep liking. If you're listening in on the audio version of this, please rate us social media zizo zonna.
Most people ask me to tell them my last words.
Mm.
But I hate saying the last words because manga food. Yes, but all my socials go is Buka Chimey, which is Buka space. Then the Chimey is CHIMEY. All my socials: Instagram, Facebook, ne email yange ko bookingchimey@gmail.com. Mobile money yange jeri nayo wamagala kumpa ku sente.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone who's watching, and I think we're out of here for today.
Yeah, we're out of here. Tugenze kulumya abayaaye.
Until next time.
Until next time. Yeah, man.